There was a question in here. Do you want to ask?
Yes,
sorry, I had to get going, but
there's a mic here.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Well, especially if you want.
Go down here.
Well, my question is for all the.
You can just repeat my question.
Thank you.
Well, let us know it's work.
Hi, my name's Natalie. So my question for all the artists is, once you have the final product, is there anything that you either spray on the product to make it last for a long time, for example, like a lacquer, or is it more like kind of determinant on the paper that you use and you leave the final piece as is?
Yeah, none of us that I know of really coat. Yeah.
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 Well, I'd say there are some people in the wide world of the craft of origami that have been known to paint their final thing with lacquer. It's a small set of people, and it makes it much different object. It kind of freezes it in place and takes it away from that idea that that process brought it there, in my opinion.
You could talk about Eric Joisel, how he uses lacquer.
And
Jeremy
well,
has
one of the artists
and
in film.
sometimes, in order to make it more durable, it is necessary, and Jeremy has some examples of that sort of thing for performing. If it needs to actually open and close many times, then some treatment is necessary. That's kind of an interesting subject for that movement.
Hi, Richard Alexander. We do some commercial installations, some which are permanent. We have to spray the tops of the origami mobiles with maybe an acrylic spray that will allow the workers to clean them and keep them dusted so they look fresh. Window displays are often up for a short period of time and there's no coating. When people make origami jewelry, it depends on the age group of people that are going to be wearing it. Jewelry sold to younger children, they will dip in 2-part epoxy and make it.
Well, that's what I was referring to. Some people do that. Yeah. Here's some examples of paper that's been treated
Afterwards.
for utility with tape.
Okay, right here.
Good.
Ooh la la. And so this is,
In the mic.
okay, so this one is first folded out of a large sheet of paper. I couldn't find that big one, so I pieced several together to get this big of a square. And then after I folded it, I did paint it and I reinforced it on the back, laminating.
So it's just some plastic in there with the paper.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
And this one has lasted me a few years actually, opening it during all my performances. And these are some other ones that I laminated. And with acrylic paint, which is also acrylic paint is also very flexible, so that's what I use.
Another question?
San Francisco does.
More
Jesse.
Dory questions?
Well, it is Jesse is the Dory question. He's up there. Jesse.
Jesse, you're up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, actually, it was hinted towards earlier, but I didn't get the chance to follow up. You mentioned, it said with some disdain that they might have been using lasers in that paper greasing process. I was actually wondering, I didn't see any tools, or maybe I missed it. I didn't really see many or any tools in this video. Is it kind of looked down upon in the origami community to use like small hooking tools to make these teeny creases, or did I just not see that part of the process?
I think you just didn't see that part of the process, and also different people do.
Robert?
Some people use bone fold, and some people like to laser cut or etch a little, very lightly with very little power to make creases. So it's there and around, and people use small tools for line work as well.
Robert, why don't you talk about how you use the laser to...
I just want to clarify, since I've made that disdaining comment. I just think that origami, it's okay to use tools, but it's sort of important to present, like if you use cuts, for instance, then you put work on display, and maybe people in this day and age might consider that model doesn't have cuts. And then that happened to me when the first time that I made a crab. I wanted to make a crab. I saw it in the book, and I was really excited to make it, and then it sort of turned out it had cuts, and I was like, and so yeah, it's just presenting things with the meat. I think it's important to have some sort of description of the medium, the method, in order to really present an artwork, and that's just my own personal opinion.
I think Robert has something to add. Is that true? About resin?
Sure.
Yeah, good.
I was just going to mention, a lot of people, including myself, do use tools. I use anything ranging from tweezers, glasses, reading glasses sometimes, and on some pieces I've also used a laser scriber to scribe creases. And so my view is, if tools help you create a better artwork, and kind of what Jeremy alluded to, you're not claiming that you're doing something different from what you're doing, then I think any tool that helps you is a good thing. Just as if you're a painter, using a brush to apply the paint rather than spitting it out of your mouth the way the old people did is a good thing as well.
It is some of those heavy metals.
Another question?
Another question. I'll keep it coming if you guys don't have any up there. So I've seen, again, images floating around of someone who used toilet paper rolls to create faces.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this? Is that artist up here? Or do you have an opinion on using found objects?
That artist is junior in France.
Is who?
Le Crimp, maybe.
He's a member of Le Crimp, and he lives in Paris.
In the film.
Yeah. And I personally met with him and saw his paper rolls. And tried it myself as well, I must confess.
We have somebody whose name is Linda Miyahara, and she delights in having contests at conventions, and she will give us things like a tortilla, a piece of plastic wrap, a toilet seat cover, a towel, a paper bag, anything that she can come up with to fold, and you have to sit there in front of judges and you have 1 minute to make a creation. It's rather exciting. So yes, anything can be folded.
Yeah.
Wonton wrappers.
Sounds like an Iron Chef of paper.
Yeah. In fact, the origami community worldwide is very well connected. It's a small group, but it's a huge group, and we all know each other. And many of us here for years. Vanessa was able to learn about each of us by the recommendation from one of us to another. So it just went around the world. That also happens when it comes to commercial jobs. Maybe somebody contacts somebody and says, oh, you know who you have to contact to get this done? And if that person is too busy or contractually obligated to something else, you say, oh, I know just who you should go see. That kind of thing is actually very common. And speaking of the toilet paper tube thing, Richard and I have had to engineer parts folded from Kapton plastic that are collapsible and end up in satellites in orbit right now. So our fingerprints, if they didn't clean them very well, have been they're in orbit right now. But a similar kind of a shape, about the size of a toilet paper tube, and geometrically designed to collapse a certain way, hand folded, sent off for gold coating, and there you go. So from toilet paper tubes to orbit. Yeah.
I have